everyone, we're back. It's been, oh my gosh, a month, I think, right, Alexandra?
Yes, quite a bit.
Yes. And before we get right into it, I wanted to just point over my head to this gorgeous sign that my friend Michelle Lisa at the Turquoise Ladybug made for Alexandra and I. I've got one here and I'm sending one out to LA for Alexandra, and the popcorn lights up. I don't know if you could see it behind me. But it's got lights and it says the Raspy Rundown, my favorite color, of course. So shout out to my good friend Michelle. Love it. So I have to remember to turn it off to save the battery. And yeah, so let's get into it. Let's
It's super
start with,
cute. I can't wait to get mine. You have to send me mine so we each can have one and I can have it backlit too.
yep, yep. And just like wanted to mention that my hat, which I got in July. Can you see it?
Yeah, Malibu.
What do you think about it?
So I think it's iconic. It's upside down. And I think it's a conversation starter, which you've proven that it has been. But I love it. They sell it purposely like that. You got it at this really cute store. I'm wearing my sweatpants from there that also say Malibu right side up. But I love that store and it's cute and unique. And like I do think it's a way to start a conversation. Not that
Well,
you need it.
funny, yeah, funny story. I got it in July. We were out there at the store that we love in Malibu, and I had bought two hats. One was a corduroy, more for summer. Orange is my favorite color, and gray is my second favorite color. But I didn't realize that it was backwards. Did not realize it was backwards until maybe I got home or a few days later. And I guess you knew. You knew it was backwards.
Well, it's
Uh,
upside down. It's not backwards.
it's upside down. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've had a variety of commentary, good and bad. I was in the grocery store and some man said, "Oh, I'm trying to, this old man, figure out your hat." And then we moved on. My vet yesterday mentioned that it's a great conversation starter and that making jokes about how we think people are going to be able to read it. And even if you go upside down, I think you have to go above me to see it. Then I was in a coffee shop yesterday, the same time my vet had mentioned earlier, and this gentleman, older man as well, said the same thing, like, "Wow, your hat's really interesting." And then shortly after that, a girlfriend of mine who had not heard what the conversation had been with this gentleman came over to me and said, "Debbie, what's up with your hat? That's a stupid hat." So she certainly did not hold anything back. And I explained to her that wasn't very nice because I've got nothing but interesting commentary. And even if it is a stupid hat, that's the whole point of it. I went back to this woman in Malibu when we were just there a few weeks ago, and I bought some more stuff from her and I asked her about this hat. And when I asked her, some guy came in to get this specific hat. So what's your thoughts about it?
I like it. I think it's so cute and it takes a minute to get used to because I guess at first you wouldn't think you have an upside down backwards hat, but then once you get used to it, it's cute and it is a conversation starter. It's a cute design, cute material. Why not? I mean, why not be different and be unique? It's not a boring hat, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I love it. And
I
I
love it.
listen, it's unique.
Mhm.
It's not stupid for my friend that commented on it. It's a cool hat, unique hat, and it strikes up conversation.
Right.
And I'm unique. I don't care what people think. So that's all I want to say on that topic. So going forward, my Raspy necklace that I try to keep on every time we record, is it backwards or can you read it forwards? This
I
is from you,
think
the
it's
Raspy.
forward. It's kind of hard to see. I think it's forward. I think
Okay,
it's good.
good,
It looks
good.
shiny.
Yeah, love it. Get lots of compliments from it. So yeah, so let's go right into our incredible vacay.
Yeah.
Call it my vacay. There was no reason for it. I just wanted a vacay. And Dad and I went out to see you a few weeks ago. We went out for 9 to 10 days and we had an incredible, better than expected adventure.
Right.
So I'm sorry, everybody. We haven't been recording. We've both been busy. And yeah, we have so much to talk about on this vacay.
I think we should start with the fact that this somehow there's always an airport debacle, whether it's our first episode, which is the flight attendant from hell, or if it's
Yep.
what happened to you this time. So let's start in the airport of what went down on your trip to California.
Okay. So basically, everything went great. You know, every time I book a flight, I'm like, I'm gonna go early. I'm gonna go early. And I'm glad I'm going early and I'll get a great start. And then I get there and I'm like, oh shit, why did I go early? I'm exhausted, right? Well, I got up early. Had a great night, got to the airport, got my bag on JetBlue. Everything was great. and got to LA, no problem, right? Even got in early. Dad's bag came out and mine never came out. I was like, oh no, oh shit, what does that mean? And I was like, I'm going to stay calm because maybe I'm just not seeing it. Let's stay a little longer. And it never came out. So, needless to say, we found the customer service for JetBlue, and she's like, got good news. We found your bag.
Okay.
Great. Where is it? Bad news is it's on another plane. But the good news was it was only 45 minutes behind. She had no idea what had happened, if it was intentional or if it was just too heavy, because my bag was extremely heavy.
Oh
Dad
my
and I,
God, that's probably it. It's probably because your bag was too heavy. I didn't even think of that because why out of all suitcases was yours on a different flight? It's probably because it was so massive. You were going to bring the whole plane down if they had it.
right, right. So they didn't even give me a warning. My stupid air tag didn't work. And needless to say, I just had to wait. And it was like a 45-minute wait. I was like, that's great. I have nobody picking us up. We're just renting a car and going to our Airbnb in Malibu.
Mhm.
So we waited. We waited, and sure enough, it came out. I was talking to this really cute guy in the airport, and he's like asking me, why do you have your bag? And I didn't realize I stood out. I was like, oh, that's right. I'm waiting at, he's like, why do you? So I explained the whole story, and he said, oh my God, that's awful. That's why I never check a bag. I'm just waiting for my friend's bag. So I could personally never do that. But for me, it was a little nerve-wracking, but I was proud of myself. I stayed calm, true to form. It came out. So I was all happy.
Right. Did he
Thank
ever
God.
text you, the new friend?
No,
Oh,
no, good looking guy. He had a partner. He said, couldn't figure out if it was his business partner or his boyfriend. He kept saying his partner, but then he said, we're in business together. He said he was going to follow our Raspy rundown. Because you know me, I always make connections. I
mhm.
always have a card on hand to say, Raspy rundown, follow us.
Right.
And yeah, so that's what happened. And yeah, and I
Yeah,
know
but you
we
survived. We made it. We loved Malibu. I think we should cover some of the highlights. I honestly think one
so
of the
many.
craziest things was Malibu was great. It was beautiful. We hiked. We loved all the restaurants. But then the last day, you encouraged us to do a workout class, which I had seen this workout class with Brooke Burke, who's an amazing actress and entertainment host. And I was like, should we do it? Should we not? Just because it was the morning we were leaving the Airbnb. So I didn't know if it
Yes.
was gonna be too rushed. But then you're like, why not? Let's do it. It was supposed to be a booty burn class. That could be fun. It's in a beautiful lounge in Malibu. And so my dad could just come and relax. And we went, and it was, yes,
But Dad liked the fact that he brought his Beamer and he was going to talk to Brooke after about Beamer because she's the face of Beamer.
right.
Right.
You've probably
Not
heard us
not a
talk about
car,
Beamer
not
a
a
few
car.
times. Yes, not the
It was,
car for the 20th time. It is a machine, it's recovery, and it's an amazing machine. You've probably heard us drone on about it. We won't bore you today. I've said it in a conference. It was informational. It was long, but it was cool. And so we went, and it was the most incredible workout class because Brooke has now transitioned into the wellness space. And oh my gosh, it ended up being hot yoga. It kicked our butts. She was a lovely woman. It was amazing. It was one of the best workouts. Did we not have so much fun?
it was so incredible on so many levels. I mean, I could spend an hour talking about Brooke Burke. She is such an icon. She is such a down-to-earth woman. The minute she came in, it was a rainy day. We were supposed to do it outside on the Raffi Lounge. We did it inside. Like you said, Dad thought he was going to wait on the side because he didn't know it turned out to be not a booty burn, but a total yoga class, which he could have done.
Hot.
Hot yoga, which I didn't know till I was going, and I
Yeah.
was scared to death. She made it so enjoyable. She did such breath work. I had never done a class with such an amazing person, not because of who she is, but in terms of entertainment wise, which I didn't even realize all the stuff she had done. I knew she was, in entertainment, but what a down to earth woman, and her meditation, her breathing in between our toning made me say, I'm never going to find a class like this again. Well, needless to say, after we were done sweating our butts off and body off, she was so sweet, so kind. We brought Dad back in to introduce him and talk about the Beamer. Her fiance was there. He was so nice, down to earth. She invited me to join her online, once a week workout class, which is a live Zoom. as well as her Monday meetings where we talk about women's issues and meditation and working out and eating and menus and what's been going on and how we owe it to ourselves. So I signed up for that. And then she also told me about her individual workouts that are pre-recorded tapings that are phenomenal.
Her
So
workout
that's
app.
separately, yeah, workout app, which I love too.
Right.
So I've been doing that since I got back. But
Yeah.
while we were there, she also invited me to go to a retreat, which I can't do because I'm going out with my daughter, my younger daughter, for her birthday and for spring break to Arizona. And
When do you go?
I go the 23rd of
Oh yes,
March.
you'll be in Arizona and I'll be in Cabo. I'm going
Yes,
on my first ever girls trip.
that's awesome.
I'm
That's awesome.
excited.
You've been
Shout
to
out to
Cabo? You've never
what?
been to Cabo.
No, I've
You never,
never been to Mexico and I've never been on like a girls trip for
oh my God, you're gonna love
wait,
it.
this is so exciting.
It's so awesome. You
Yeah.
have to go. I'll give you a couple
I
recommendations.
don't even know where in Cabo. Are we all going to be at the same? Like, I wonder if it's the same place you went to. I have no idea. Like,
I gotta
what?
look where I
How
went,
big Cabo
but
is.
it's gonna be so awesome. You're going from when? The 20th
The
or
22nd to the
22nd?
25th.
Okay, and I'm going 23 to 28. So we're
That's
like
funny.
overlapping.
What's the time difference in Cabo? I feel like I should know that, but from LA.
I oh, so I thought Mexico is the same 3 hours earlier, but it could be
Oh,
2 hours.
good. Okay, so I don't have a time
You
difference.
might not have a time difference. Yeah,
But anyways,
it's
you'll hit Brooke up at the next retreat for sure. I mean,
yeah,
she's
well,
so
it's
sweet.
weird. Yeah, it's weird. She's doing this amazing retreat in Carefree, Arizona, while I'm going to be in Sedona. So there's like an overlap, and she asked me to go, and of course I can't go, but I do want to go to one of her retreats because it just, oh my God, it's like a dream. And I've been searching, I mean, I could talk about this for hours. I've been searching for doing something in addition to my personal training that I do remote with our guy that we've been doing for 4 or 5 years, who's phenomenal. I do strength training and TRX. I wanted to add to this repertoire. Didn't know if I really wanted to go anywhere. Honestly, I wish I could go to Malibu, but she has all this stuff online. So I'm doing it with her online and I'm enjoying it. It's such a great supplement to what I've already been doing for the last 4 years. I'm already feeling my body's getting transformed and feeling like I have more energy. And I always look forward to it and excited about it. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's really fun. I've been really pumped doing this. It's been a really great life change thing for me.
And
So I
I've been
love it.
thinking about it too. And I think that when you do the same thing forever, your body plateaus. So these are new
Yep.
workouts that we haven't done for the past 4 or 5 years when we've been training with our trainer. So it's really hard actually. It's
Right.
full dynamic workouts with breathing and the abs are incredible. So I feel like I really noticed a difference because again, I'm adding something new into my routine and also just the dynamic moves. So it's not just like bicep curls or squats, which I love too, but it's like pulling it through and up and then squatting with the weight and it's full body at all times, which is
And
hard.
stretching.
And
And
stretching,
stretching.
and even the stretching, I feel like I'm burning because I'm
Yeah.
like just moving the muscles the entire time.
I'm
And
not feeling sore after I work out
me
with her.
neither.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm like we had a really good workout and we did like a cooling down. Um, and the other thing too is like in my day, like in the 80s with the tapes and all that stuff, and like then we were doing, all the other stuff with the CDs. And I stopped doing all, I have so many CDs and tapes. And I was thinking about going back to those. And then I was thinking about, I live in Richfield, Connecticut. I was like, okay, but I've been so spoiled working out at home with my personal trainer from Miami. I was like, do I really want to go out and adventure? And what I love about it is Malibu is my happy place. Everybody knows that's my dream to move out there. And I literally feel like I'm in Malibu when I watch her workouts. I feel like I'm in Malibu when I see her live.
Yeah.
And it's been a really great, great thing. And it's so cool because, now with all this social media, we can do all this stuff
Right.
virtually.
I do
It's
not like
just
to leave my house to work out. No, no, no.
right.
Unless I'm going on a walk, I like to work out
I
at home.
know. And that's like, why do I have all these cute workout outfits? Which, by the way, I have to confess, I did buy two workout outfits
From
from
Aritzia?
Aritzia.
You
So
did?
she mentioned,
Oh
yes,
my God.
yes.
You
So
went
she mentioned, no, I didn't go. I ordered it
online. So tell me what happened. So she said
2XS, I think. So Brooke is so,
XXS.
yeah, she's so amazing, Brooke. She like is so dedicated. You could see like she throws her whole heart and soul into it. So she was going away for a friend's birthday. So she did it out of a hotel in Louisiana. So while she was in Louisiana, she had this cute little gray outfit, and she's like, shout out to Aritzia. This is my cute outfit. Well, I went out and I just ordered it and it's cute. So
I can't
I've
wait.
got it. I've got it at home.
You tried it on?
I did. Yep. I
You
got
like
both. I
it?
got It's great. The only thing I would say is you can kind of see the underwear lines, even though it's a
Is
thong.
it full body or is it like
The
short?
one is full length and I have to roll it under because it's a little long, but it's adorable. If you put a sweatshirt over it, looks like you're wearing pants. And the other one's more like longer than the shorts from Free People, but shorter than a full length. It's more like a
Super cute. I gotta
bicycle.
get a pair too.
So I got a green and a gray. The green
That's
is the shorter, the forest green, and the gray is full length. But I don't know how you're supposed to get rid of seeing those underwear lines, even with the thong. And I was wearing
You wear
Spanx.
seamless underwear, like the Spanx. That's the best you can do. No one cares. I mean, it's just seamless. As
Yeah,
long as
and
you
it's
wear
seamless,
seamless,
but you could, yeah, it's seamless, but
nobody
whatever.
really cares.
Yeah.
I was gonna go back to the tapes. You actually remembered that you used to do a Brooke Burke workout tape, which is funny. Back
Yes.
in the day, she had
Yes. So I
the
told her that and how I used to do her workout with this guy in the ball, that exercise ball. And I forget the name of the guy. I think it was
Gunther.
Gunner, somebody. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh my gosh, Debbie, yes, I remember that. I remember that."
Well, I have to say, Denise Austin is kicking butt still. She always posts throwbacks of her tapes from the 80s. And I do love the workout tapes in the 80s. Those moves are the same moves that I've carried through today. Obviously, now you add weights and all this, but I do think the 80s workout ladies knew what they were doing. Look at Jane Fonda, Denise Austin. I mean, it's great.
It is really great. And I have to say, Brooke looks so young. Even though she's like in my in my age group, she's younger than me. It was awesome. So we had a lot of dinners to go to. Alexander and I arranged a lot of things to do during the day. We did the Getty Villa. That was really cool. It was like being in Italy when we were in Malibu. We finally got to see Pepperdine. Yay. Love that school. Wish I had gone there. Wish you had gone there. We did a lot of fun things in Malibu that we didn't get to do last time. And our Airbnb was incredible because the owners were from Bali. And so we got to feel like we were in Bali while we were staying in Malibu. And even though it rained a couple days, we still had a blast. We did some hiking before the rain set in. And people in California will say, "Oh, we're so sorry it's raining." And I'm like, "No, it's better than snow. No
Right.
worries." And it didn't bother me because I always go in the summer, right,
Right.
to California. I would decide to go in February. So Malibu was so much fun. It was a different experience this time. And then we moved on to Beverly Hills, which if
Right.
you want to take it from there, what we decided to do a few days in Beverly Hills. We had a bunch of dinners and
Yeah, we had such a great time in
beaches,
Beverly Hills, but I think
Brentwood.
Brentwood, yes. I think the thing that was what was up in the air was whether or not we were going to go to the talk because
Right.
you are friends on social media with Amanda Klutz. You guys
Yep.
have been talking for a long time and she's just such an amazing person. And so when you told her we were coming out and we wanted to go to the talk, she was nice enough to say she would get us tickets. But
Right.
of course, it's no easy feat dealing with you and technology. So,
Right.
I mean, the email that we were supposed to get never came and we kept like
Yeah.
looking and looking. So we really felt it was up in the air whether or not we were going to go. We weren't putting pressure on it. We're like, if it happens, great. If not, always next time. But she kept saying it's so weird because my producer said the email's been sent, but we just never received it. And then the day before, I think that night we're like, don't worry, we're just gonna show up. We know where it's taping. And she said we're on the VIP guest list. So regardless of us receiving tickets, if we show up, our names are on the list. Well, the guy actually ended up emailing me and and showing me the tickets and telling us where to meet him and what time. But the time he sent was earlier than the time Amanda had told us. So we're already late as is because traffic from Beverly Hills to get me in the valley. And then luckily the studio was 2 minutes from my house. But of course, we went to the wrong lot. And then they
Yep.
wanted us to park on the top parking street. We go around and around. And you were like, we were freaking out. We were like, are we gonna make it? And they're then
We were
texting.
really freaking out. Poor dad was driving your car, rushing. I think we were driving, or maybe we were doing the rental car. I can't remember. But anyway, it was so stressful. We went to the wrong lot. And then when we got into the parking garage, then the guy started texting me,
Yeah.
"What's your ETA?" And then when we were going through, I was asking the parking attendant, "Are we going to make it?" She goes, "We will see."
Yeah.
And it was like, I was so worried. We did all this and we were dressed up and we
Yeah.
were excited to meet Amanda. You had met her already when you interviewed her at the ballet. And, I just literally could not believe how close we came to not going. And when we got in, they were like 3 minutes to get in. I'm like, I have to pee, I have to pee. Well, you have a minute to pee. So then we finally rushed in, right? And everybody was sitting down, and it was Black History Month, right? So everybody was going to be there to celebrate that. And we weren't actually in the main physical part of where they were taping. We were like in the holding room. And that's where they told us we were going to be doing 2 shows, a live and a tape show, which we were excited about. But everybody was like, all eyes were on us because we
We
were
were
like
all dressed up. We looked like
all dressed up
amazing.
to the
And
T.
what we
And
didn't know is that these people who come to the talk, most of them come every single week or every single day.
right,
Like this is their thing. So they're not dressing up for like a once in a lifetime moment. They've been here, they know it. So we're coming in like these sexy outfits and everyone's just staring and it's our first time there. They all probably are like, who even are these people? Because they know the regulars.
right, right. And so it was really, really a stressful moment to have all eyes on us. And then they said that everyone's going to line up and we're all going to have numbers. Well, we were like the last number, like 500 or 400. And they were doing it based on order, but because we were VIP, they allowed us, the Belushis, the 3 of us, Dad, you and me, to be the very first 1, 2, and 3. So we were the front of the line, we were in the front row, and it was hysterical prior to the show because between shows we were going to have to switch and mix it around. But what's really interesting is they let us even get up and sit back in our first row seats. Only us, which is interesting because it's a tape show and a live show. And if you watch both and you put 2 and 2 together, you would see we're wearing the same outfits. So we look the
But
same.
you only see the back of our heads, which was a bummer because
That's
I'm
true.
sitting there smiling my butt off. I have probably wrinkles from smiling so hard, thinking I'm going to be on camera, but also because I'm a journalist and I'm literally my foot can touch the stage. I'm making eye contact with the host. I want to be presentable and look engaged, which I was. But it's funny being at the live taping because if you look back, yeah, you see all 3 of our heads very clearly nodding along and participating from the back. But we had to talk about what Dad did.
There was a lot of things that Dad did. I was ready to divorce him. I'm surprised his leg didn't hurt. My elbow, my foot was hurting from going like this to him. Okay, so there were a couple things. Prior to the show starting, the guy that was like the stage manager, he was full of energy. He does other shows. I think you said he does
He's
The
a
Voice.
comedian.
A comedian. He's awesome.
Oh yeah, I think he does the Kelly Clarkson show or something too.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe it was The Voice. Yeah.
Yeah. So he like told us that, like, which I know wasn't true, that the audience the week before, because they were off the week before, and they probably tell us to every audience, we're not good. And some of them got kicked out because they didn't show the hype, they didn't show the energy. So he wanted us to be really energized and hyped up and really, be the loudest we could be to really make this show great, which in retrospect is so funny because it's so funny because of the fact that you're only listening, you're not seeing us clapping, you're only hearing from the back. And so your father took it upon himself the entire show to act like he was at a football game, a guy from Coney Island, having this loud, annoying clap and chanting and cheering, starting all the clapping, starting all the camaraderie.
At inappropriate times too. Like we didn't need a clap there. We didn't need a laugh or yeah.
Yeah. And then he later on asked the guy, aren't I supposed to be doing this? And that guy, of course, was like, yes, it's great. If you feel stupid, you're doing a great job. And I said, please, Vinny, stop. It's annoying. It's like so annoying. It's like drawing attention to us to the point where, like, even if we're not on camera, people that see you doing
and
it.
And the hosts are going to be like, shut up. Like, you're annoying.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And so that was really annoying, but I guess it worked.
But he won you a beautiful prize, so we have to give him some credit.
You could tell what happened.
So
he knows I love cups and mugs. So tell him what this guy said.
Yes, we love tea in this family. And so actually
and
I don't
coffee.
know. Yes, well, and coffee. And so the MC, he said, who wants this mug? So everybody's raising their hand. And he's like, let's do a dance contest for it. So he picked Dad and this guy from, I think, Australia. And the guy is tall and skinny. And then you have my dad, who's a little tinier. And then so they started dancing and showing their best moves. And my dad's gyrating his hips and going all around and shaking his butt. And everyone's screaming and cheering. And I was like, had tears coming down. I was like, this is so funny.
And we weren't allowed to tape it because they were so strict. They would made us put our phones away. We couldn't even have our pocketbooks, nothing out. No. And the guy that he was competing against was a nice, quiet, skinny, tall guy from
Australia. Yeah.
So it was him and then short little Dad.
Yes, it was
Kicking stuff.
hilarious. Shaking his butt, like dancing, like doing all these moves, and like, he's a little stiff. So it was just so funny. I was cracking up, and my dad won. He won the
He
bug.
won. And it was like, I think the second funniest thing I've ever seen, maybe the first, because remember when he was hypnotized years ago and
Oh,
did all this
yes.
stuff under hypnosis. So this was like a moment. And I wanted so bad for us to tape it and post it. And we couldn't. We couldn't. And it was like the highlight of the trip. It was like, this is worth it. And the thing is, all that stress and energy getting to the show and then be able to have this moment with dad and be able to do 2 shows. So that was incredible. Then there was another moment. So I got my cup and all that. There was another moment, you can take it away, where he asked during break, but Amanda was sitting on the stage, how Amanda and I knew each other, because there was a moment between tapings
Oh God.
at the beginning and the end where she came over to us and hugged us and said
I
hello to us.
forgot about this part.
Oh, so embarrassing.
So why don't you say what
Take it
happened?
away.
It was happened to you. You take it
It's
away.
embarrassing.
So, well, the MC asked, "How do you know Amanda?" Because they all saw us.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask dad, "How do you know Amanda?" And my dad, this is how he tells the story. He says he wanted to give my mom her moment because this was her big moment. It's her friend, and I'll let my wife take it away. And so he said she's friends with my wife. And so then my mom goes, "Oh, no, 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 no." And then so the guy goes, "Oh, you're not friends?" And she goes, "No, I love her. I love her." Because
But Alexandra,
Alex,
she
and then he started saying
interviewed
all this
her.
other stuff. So the guy started to just slowly back away with the mic and was like, "Okay, moving on," because you just went
And
on.
you don't like her. You don't really think she's your friend or something. He said,
Yes, but the whole thing is, this was the first time you guys met in person. So you've been so-called social media friends is what it's called.
long
And
time.
now
Yeah.
you're friends in real life. You've met. She's so sweet. I've met her. I've done her dance
Oh,
class. I'm going back
so
tomorrow.
nice.
But before
Lucky.
that, yeah, social media.
Hi for her.
I will. And let me say, this is another, let's just do a tangent. Celebrity workouts could be fake. Both Brooke and Amanda are incredible. And
I
it's
know.
just this
I
dance
know.
class, where Brooke does like total body and incorporates yoga. Amanda does total body and incorporates dance. And it's so fun.
Awesome.
I was drenched in sweat. She's incredible. And I like both of them do the workouts with you the entire time. So you know what I
I
mean? Like
know.
they want to push themselves too. It's incredible. But so yes, you should have said social media friends. And then you're like, I don't know. You panicked. You're like, what did I say? Like, this is so embarrassing. And I was like, you could have just said, social media friends. And you're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like, darn. So, and then my dad says, like, you effed up your one big moment. You flopped. You got stage fright right in that moment. But I
Hey,
get it.
one chance.
Your one chance. But it was hard. What were you supposed to say? It was too
Well,
fast.
I didn't want to say, yeah, we're really good friends, because I had never met her.
Yeah.
And I wasn't smart enough to think that quick social media friends. I just didn't expect for this MC to call out, like he had noticed that Amanda came over to our family and hugged us, and she was so, so lovely. So, I didn't expect that moment to happen. That was a funny moment. And there was other moments like where he said, you're from Connecticut. There's another family from Connecticut, but you guys are nicer. The other family's a little hostile. It was fun, but it was in a moment, it was experience. And I really have to say, Amanda's as lovely as she seems online. I couldn't have
Right.
asked for a nicer, moment. And the only other time I went to a show was Kelly Ripa
Which
in
we
New
went
York
to.
City. Remember, you and I went to that, but Amanda's lovely. And I wanted so badly to go to her workout class. When I come back, I will do a workout with her, because the day I was leaving was the day she was teaching. So you'll be heading back tomorrow to her next workout. So
You
say
have to
hi
do
for
it.
me.
I
Say hi
will.
for me. We
It's
love
so
you, Amanda and Brooke. We love you guys.
workout
So
girls.
anyway,
With the talk about another moment of yours, the ear piercing, which was just such a letdown in so many ways. So
embarrassing.
embarrassing. Yeah. We went to Studs. Well, the whole time you told me you wanted a second piercing. So then I
Yeah.
got all excited because I thought we were
Yep.
going to do it together for the Raspy. And
Yep.
you kept going back and forth, but then finally you decided yes. But then, of course, in the 11th hour, we get in there and you heard, oh, well, if I get my piercings, I have to sleep on my back. I can't do that. I'm a stomach sleeper. I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
out.
That's what did it for me. Honest to God. I was all set for the raspy rundown, watch mom get an ear pierce. I had double piercings years ago when I was like 20, and I let him close up, and I've always wanted a second pierce. And I just froze when she said that. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I just don't know if I can deal with the bleeding. I don't know if I can deal with all this back sleeping. I'm used to being on my stomach, although it is good for your skin. I just don't know. And also, I think because it was the day before I was heading back home, I didn't want to have pain, but it turned out that they were really good piercing. You had to pierce.
Yeah.
The woman was great that did it. And I'm definitely going to do the studs in New York City this summer. I've decided I'm going to do it this summer. And that's my goal. But I was really let down with myself. But you ended up getting cute piercing, and I got to see the beautiful mall that I'd never been to.
Right.
But yeah, what a letdown. I didn't do the
I
doubles.
went through with it. I got a little Daisy, the one that you liked in honor of you.
How's it doing?
It's doing
Good?
so good. Yeah, I do. I spray
Good.
the saline and the little spray bottle of water every morning and
Okay.
night, and I'm loving
Okay.
it. But you got to get it done. They had really cute earrings though, so we did shop for
Yep.
earrings when we were there, which made up for it. And
We
I
did a
got
lot of shopping in California, didn't we?
a ton. And I have to say, before we end the Malibu trip, you have a hat that says Malibu. We are all about literals out here, and so you love Malibu. There it is. My dad got a hat that says Cash Cow. Think about that what you will. You found it, and we're like, that is your hat.
It really is. It's Dad's hat.
Oh,
And
but then
go
go
ahead.
on. I was gonna say he really wanted. We were at the winery. We went to an amazing
Right.
winery too,
Right.
Celio Farms. And my dad saw this guy who just like looked California cool. He had a hat that said Malibu Racing. So he kept saying, my dad, how much he wanted that Malibu Racing hat. Like wherever we went, he kept saying that he wanted cool sneakers and Malibu Racing hat and to like have the Cali look. So I looked up and I found that they had one hat left at a Malibu surf shop in Malibu. So we got
Right.
it. I ordered it. I bought it for him, and he has the Malibu racing hat, and there was only one left.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
super
And
cool,
so
super rare.
he felt so good about himself. He also got his little workout outfit, and I got a great sweat outfit at that wonderful place.
Kith,
What's it called?
Kith, Kith.
I love it.
I love
I
it.
love
I got a sweatshirt too from Spiritual Gangster. I love that store. They have
Yeah.
everything.
And dad, he was proud of it. And I love my little workout outfit. It fits so well and it's so comfy. And it was just great. I love California. Everyone's leaving California, but I'm trying to move towards it. It's just my happy place. And I'm telling you, my next dog, we know what the
Malibu.
name's gonna be. Yeah.
Yep, Malibu.
And so Beverly Hills was great too. I was disappointed. I won't lie that was like my childhood place. I went with my family, and every time I go to LA, I go to Beverly Hills Hotel, not Beverly Hills Hotel, Beverly Hilton, but they're renovating it. And so they said, unfortunately, the prices are going to go sky high, and it's going to go up to probably 1,000 a night once everything's done. So I'm going to have to find another hotel. So if anybody wants to give suggestions of reasonable lodging, I mean, I want something nice and elegant. I'm not spending 1,000 a night. I just won't. I spend too much on shopping and dinners every night that I need a place where it's nice, but I'm not spending, more than hundreds a night. I mean, I'll
Right,
go up to 600 a night, but I don't want to spend any more than that. I'm
right.
not spending 1,000 a night. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. They closed the restaurant. They moved it over. They closed the pool. So yeah, I mean, the restaurant's like in the lobby now. It's weird. So I really was just there to sleep. I spent very little time. We had a really different experience in Beverly Hills this time because again, it was more of a winter thing. We didn't do hiking from the rains.
Well, I do
We
like
did
the Beverly Hilton, but maybe next time you can do an Airbnb in Beverly Hills so you can split it
that's
between
you
an
know what?
Airbnb in
Oh
Malibu
my
and
gosh.
Beverly Hills.
That's a really great idea. Maybe I'll try something in Beverly Glen. That was a place we went. We saw shout out to General Hospital, Kin Shriner at
Mm-hmm.
Beverly Glen,
At
I
Beverly
think.
Glen, yeah, the Beverly Glen's
Yeah, I had never
awesome.
been to Beverly Glen, so I should have gone over and said hello. He looked adorable. I can't believe I'm
Phenomenal.
70, I think.
Yeah,
It's
in
like
his 70s, and he looked young and good looking. It
crazy.
was
And
cool.
we had an amazing lunch, and I loved it. I loved wearing the winter clothes in California. I actually liked being able to extend my winter clothes and wearing things that I would normally wear in Connecticut in LA where I could be seen, right?
Mhm.
And then there was another area you took me to too. I had never been. What was the other area that we went to? Not Beverly Glen. It was a
Well,
really
we went
cool
to Brentwood.
Brentwood. I'd never been to Brentwood.
Hmm.
And that was cool. That was
Yeah,
a
they had a
great,
little country mart.
yeah, I
But
love it.
yeah,
I bought a gift for a friend of mine and it was great. I had a good friend that was celebrating um, her son's spring break, going out. Another friend celebrating her friend's spring break. Her daughter plays a lot of sports. I missed both my two girlfriends. They were coming in when I was dodging out. But it was great. We did all these areas in the Beverly Hills area. So it was really a fun experience. I mean, very different from July, but I always feel like we make incredible memories, especially with our two workout classes. And we also went to, what do we go to, where is that restaurant I love? The restaurant where
Polo Lounge, Giorgio Baldi, we loved. We have the same waiter every time. He's incredible. Shout out Darius. Um,
Darius, he's friends with Rihanna.
He says with Rihanna. He's so fun. It's such a fun restaurant, but we need to go back when we can see celebrities. It never works for us. I mean, it'd be cool to see someone we love, but the food is phenomenal. Like I will eat pasta there every time.
It's so good. We just always miss the day to see the celebs.
Always. But then we
Always.
also did the Polo Lounge and we got a little taste of
Oh,
Hollywood. Love the Polo Lounge, the best. We had a waiter who, Sergio, and he told us all of the
yes.
stories from the olden days. He served everyone from Bob Hope to, I think, Michael Jackson,
Elvis.
Elvis, Richard Nixon, and it was incredible. He's been at the Beverly Hills Hotel for 29 years at the Polo Lounge, but he had been at other restaurants and he had served so many famous, incredible musicians and actors from back in the day that was so crazy to hear.
And he was probably in his 70s and said he can't imagine not ever working as a waiter there, that this was his life. And I just could picture him like driving home at night. You know, I'm like, if he could do it at night, why can't I do it? Why can't I was looking at dad going, this is crazy. This man's in his 70s. He's still doing every day at this restaurant. We were fortunately lucky enough that it wasn't busy. So he spent a lot of time with us. And I knew he was a great guy when I sent the pasta back, right? Because I got so excited about my favorite pasta with clams, linguine vongole, I can't say it right, vongole, and I didn't look to see there was pepper in it. So the minute I said that, he took it right back, wouldn't even let me explain. He was so accommodating, so wonderful. He loved us. He said, you know, I could tell you guys are a great family. And he took photos with us and continued to tell us stories. He's like, I'm so happy that we're not crowded so I could spend time with you guys. He made our night. He really did. He was
Yeah.
just an incredible guy, amazing man. It wasn't just the beautiful restaurant. It was just the way he was like old school Hollywood, right? To have that kind of waiter to really round off the Beverly Hills Hotel because it is. It's like a staple in Hollywood.
Right. It
And
is.
so to have him be there to sort of bring it to that next level was such a treat for us.
Yeah.
Normally, last time we were there in July, right? We did brunch there.
Mhm.
They brought out a cake because every day was our 30th anniversary. We were celebrating, Dad and I, and we did brunch. So it was nice
Right.
to have dinner there.
It was iconic. He's
Was.
iconic. It was iconic. But the next time, yeah, the next time we talk about trips, we'll be recapping Cabo in Arizona. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
We'll have to excited to see how all that goes. But
Yes.
it was such a fun trip. I can't wait for you to come back. I love exploring California. There's so much we always do.
And trying different things every time, right?
Yeah.
And again, people kept apologizing about the rain. I didn't even know the rain was an issue because you know what? Our wallets kept going. We had no issues with
The
consumption
rain
of
fall
eating.
down, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Oh,
Yes.
and wait, and I also saw the other thing I loved was we went to the what used to be the Sportsman's Lodge, which is all amazing shopping
Oh,
now.
well, what really matters is that we tried the Hailey Bieber frozen yogurt and it
I
was
was just gonna
delicious.
say twice,
Twice.
twice.
So good.
One more thing before we talk about reality TV, I have to say shout out to Poppy Soda. You showed me they don't have that on the East Coast, right?
Ooh, I don't know. I love Poppy though.
I was telling one of my friends, it was amazing. We have to
Yeah.
try it. But I think it's only in the West Coast. It was
They're
great.
expanding. They're definitely trying to expand. It's so good. So
So,
good.
like, even though I didn't get my ears pierced, at that mall, I discovered Poppy and I discovered a really fun brand, Australian brand. If you want to tell the fans,
Princess Polly.
oh my God, what did I get? I
A
love it. I
cute
wore it.
oversized sweatshirt. It's adorable. And it says Princess Polly. A good rep.
Yep, Princess Debbie.
Yep.
I loved it.
We love it. We love
Loved it.
Callie. Okay,
Yeah,
moving
it's
on.
great.
Okay, Vanderpump Rules. The new season has been airing since January. We have yet to recap any of it. I need all of your thoughts. We are all caught up. What do you think about every player? What is going through your mind?
Well, first of all, I have to say, you need a photo, you need a picture behind your head. You need this raspy. I'm sending it to you because I keep looking at this blank wall.
Yeah.
And I think you put your beautiful picture that Tori made in your room.
Right.
You have nothing behind you.
Yes.
So we're going to fill that space. I'm sending it out this week. I promise. Because
Good.
the fans need to see that we both have the same
Right.
turquoise ladybug, beautiful work of art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, Vanderpump.
I will tell you, I watched 6 Vanderpumps. It's easy in the sense I love Beverly Hills. I love California. And I think I've determined that's why I like watching The Housewives of Beverly Hills, because those two shows I can relate to. I've been there, I live it, I love it. That's your home now. But it was a lot of shows in like 4 days. So I didn't want to get back on this podcast until I watched and digested. So we're not going to talk about anything else other than what I watched this week. I'm behind in the Housewives. Although I've watched a bunch, I've watched 6 now, 6 of Vanderpump. I loved it, but it was also exhausting. They spent a lot of time and effort talking about on the 6th one, I should say, when they went to Lake Tahoe, talking about getting along. And I feel like everybody's still really hurt. But let's talk about the earlier ones. Bring me back so I can remember.
Well, it's the fallout of the scandal. And I thought some interesting things where it's kind of everybody picking up the pieces.
Right.
Tom was totally off doing his own thing, touring, and we saw him have a birthday party that
Right.
was only his band members. And he's like, these are my real friends. And it was just people he pays in his band that were there. And I thought
Yes.
that was pretty funny. And then James came in and like wanted to say have some acknowledgement from being hurt that you slept with my ex-fiance, even though you
Right.
threw us our engagement party. And so but then what happened was Tom was like, oh, well, you slept with Kristen 10 years ago, bringing up something so irrelevant, taking no responsibility. And I felt bad for James in that moment.
Well, what was, because I didn't know that part of James. Because I never
So a
watched it.
long time ago, he dated Kristen, Tom's ex-girlfriend, but that was when he was like 22. He just moved to LA. He didn't know Tom. At this point in time, Tom was like an older brother to him. So to sleep with his fiance, who was someone who's like your older brother, it's totally different. And again, he was 10 years ago. He didn't even like Kristen. Tom was done with Kristen. James was a stupid drunk kid. But this is like you're 40 years old and you slept with my ex-fiance when you're my older brother. So
How much older is he than
I think
James?
Tom's 40 and James is like 29 or 28.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. He's in his 20s.
He's definitely not 30 yet. Yeah.
Wow. That's all I have to say. Wow.
Mhm.
I thought he was like 36.
James, he looks so young.
No, he just seems older to me.
Really?
I'm
That's
shocked.
a hot take. A lot of people think he acts really
I'm
immature.
shocked. I think he's got to give James slack. I mean, it's clear though, I would say that he feels really bad.
You think Tom actually feels bad?
Yeah, I think that they're kind of pounding it over and over. I don't know what else he can do. Also, at this point, and you can bring me back to because we watched 6 of them now. I don't understand, where's Rachel? She's gone from it?
She's gone. Yeah. She wants nothing to do with it. It's funny that Lala, well, here's the thing. They're filming a show. So nobody wants to be her friend, but it's good for ratings to have her back or to have those conversations in front of the camera. She could have moved forward with the group at some point, maybe not Ariana, but with the group. The fact that she decided to, okay, if you want to go to Arizona and go to a mental health wellness facility and be out of the spotlight, good for you, live that life. But because she came back and she's doing a podcast now, bashing everybody, that's stupid. You should have just came back to the show. You would have made money. You would have been in a better place with everyone and you could have had a redemption story. I think it was stupid. And Tom, we see Tom really trying to be with Rachel on the show. And he's like, she didn't call me for my birthday. And I think she's just over it. But I mean, what do you think about Ariana and Tom living together? She seems very angry. Again, this was filmed
I think it's really weird. It was just odd that they can't just get rid of the house. And then she said there's a mediator there. There's a mediator and then, he asked permission it's so funny. He asked permission if he could have a birthday party and she said no. And then the housekeeper's so like scared of her.
No, that's his assistant. Yeah, that's his assistant.
Yeah, so funny. She's so funny.
So funny. But I think Lala made a good point. Like, why would you call the police on him? She's angry as she should be, Ariana, but she's thriving. Like, she has a boyfriend. She's had Dancing with the Stars. I think this chapter needs to just be behind her. I know what she says. Like, I don't want him to win and get the house that he destroyed and all my belongings, but I think we should just let it go.
Yeah. Like there comes to a point everyone needs to let things go. I do feel like the storyline has to evolve more. I'm getting a little tired of just hearing about the relationship. And I was watching an interview with Peter the other day, and he was saying to this podcaster that, when Sir first started, it was all revolved around the restaurant. That was much earlier on when I was not involved. I never watched it. And now, hardly ever, other than when James is performing at the restaurant, is when you see the actual restaurant Sir.
Right.
So I didn't realize that all these characters, all these real people, they started working at Sir. Like,
Yeah,
what
they
did
were all
Lala do?
Lala was a hostess.
What did Ariana do?
She was a bartender. Sheena was a waitress.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Very interesting, because when you and I went years ago, when you were looking at colleges at 16 years old, and you said, I'm going to work here someday, there was one nice woman that served us. She had dark hair. Who was she?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think she was on the show.
Okay, so there could have been people that were not on the show that were working at the restaurant.
Right.
So that just really blows my mind, because now the show is not even having anything to do really about Sir,
Right.
the restaurant.
Well,
It's all
Lisa's
about
involved. What do you think about Lisa's scenes? She sat down Lala and Sheena and said, I think you're being too hard. Her brother died by suicide. So what
right.
did you think? Do you believe Tom
Well,
when he says he was suicidal?
I feel like that, you know, I feel like, what's her name? Lisa Vanderpump, she's the icon. She's the one that started all this. She's really feeling guilty if she doesn't let it go because of what happened with her brother committing suicide.
Mhm.
So she's very partial to Tom Sandoval because she doesn't want to see that happen to him. So she
Right.
has a fondness for him. So she kind of came in and out of these episodes, but very lightly, like she just kind of, when they were closing Pump, the restaurant, she was there. I can't believe Pump's closing. When they're talking about how she feels that she's almost like the mother figure to Ariana and to Lala, she gave her little 2 cents there. And then the third turn
Sheena,
was when
too.
she did the Lake Tahoe,
Right.
where she opened up a new restaurant there. And now you barely saw her there.
Right.
It's like they were
Okay,
having
let's talk about Lake Tahoe. What do you think about Graham slash hippie?
so stupid. I'm sorry. Like that whole, they have nothing to talk about. So that's what they, hello. I mean, they're talking about the dog. Okay. The dog, let's tell the viewers, was apparently Rachel's, and I guess went to some clinic, went to some shelter,
Yes, because
somehow found its way back to Lisa Vanderpump, who gave it to, what's his
James,
name? James. And
right?
now him and the girlfriend are adopting it, but they don't want the Rachel to know, and they want to change the name to Hippie from Graham, this little poodle. It's so stupid.
They live in Burbank. They just bought a house right in Burbank by the airport, as you saw with the planes above. But yeah, it's just funny because Rachel tells a totally different story with the dog. But everybody says that since the dog has been with James, he has made a 180. His behavior is amazing. But then Rachel says that James was the one who would encourage Graham slash hippie to bite. But I thought it was funny when, yeah, like, and
Because
that,
I thought he bit someone. That's why he went back to Lisa
yes,
Vanderpump.
but she said it was James who encouraged that behavior, like when they had the dog, because James bought the dog for Rachel.
Okay.
It was their dog.
See, it's like the episode was so silly. It was all about the dog and about
Well,
Sandoval.
what do you think about Sheena saying that Tom Sandoval gave her thousands of dollars in the pandemic because she was broke and pregnant and her podcast got canceled?
I think Sheena is looking for attention. I think Sheena is making it about herself. I think Lala had more value in the way she reacted. I felt more empathy and understanding that Lala was just looking for a certain kind of answer. She seemed much more level-headed in this episode than Sheena. Sheena just seems like she's just a mess. She's got OCD. She's not happy with leaving her daughter with anybody other than her mother. Now she's like looking for validation for her feelings and making it more about herself than the fact that everybody feels kind of betrayed by this guy. She's trying to make it more like you need to like focus on me. It's about me. I just find her very, very not very deep, and more about trying to get retribution from him to make it more have the focus on her and her to be the center of attention. Versus when Lala was mad at not James, when Lala was mad at Tom on that boat and started getting upset, I felt much more connected with what she was going through than how Sheena was dealing with it. I just feel like Sheena, between the Brock issue, between the babysitter issue, she just seems like she's a mess and she's not adding any value. What about you?
Right. I also think that a lot of people said, well, Sheena said that Tom gave her thousands of dollars in the pandemic when she was broke and her podcast got canceled and she was pregnant. So she feels kind of impartial because she wants to see that there's still that guy who was her friend deep in there. But Katie said on the after show, Katie, who hangs out with Ariana in these episodes, that Sheena is a male sympathizer. For some reason, she wants to be liked by the guys or like seek their validation. And Ariana kind of agreed to that. But it does make sense that if someone gave you thousands of dollars out of their own pocket before this whole scandal erupted, you would think that they were your friend and that they have a good heart. But Katie said just because you give someone money doesn't make them a good person or show their character. But I kind of think it does show their character. But I guess also they were saying he does things to make himself feel good. But I think Sheena, well, then Lala asked, are you torn? And she said, no, I'm Team Ariana. So she wasn't torn by it. But at the same time, I do feel like she was torn. And then it was funny, she was saying that Dancing with the Stars was always her dream. And she even started taking dance lessons for it. And then Ariana got it. I think she's going to get it now. I feel like now that she said it all this season and put it out there, I guarantee they're going to ask her to be on the show.
Oh, really? You do think?
I think so. Because she said it all season. I feel like, hello, they're going to be listening and they're going to now be like,
I feel like also Ariana's mad at her. Like when she called Ariana in that episode and said, I'm just letting you know I was really uncomfortable doing the yoga. I was his partner and I'm really upset, but then I'm also his friend. And then when she hung up, Katie and her were talking and they're like, Katie was like, I don't know if she realizes you're not going to want to be her friend and stand by her. But Ariana, I don't know, is she being fake or is she just trying to be like sympathetic to her friend? I don't know.
Right.
Is she going to cut her off?
No, they're still friends. They're best friends. I think.
Best friends? No.
Yeah, they're like.
I thought Lala and Sheena and then Ariana's best friends with Katie.
See, that's new. Sheena and Ariana were best friends. Sheena brought Ariana on the show. Katie and Ariana were never close. Even despite their husbands being best friends, they were never close until this all happened.
Oh,
it's crazy because Katie was with Tom Schwartz, and so they divorced, and so now Katie and Ariana are both without the Toms, and now they've come together. That sandwich shop never opened. They still say
why did it open?
They still say it's under construction. It's in work in progress, but they've now formed a huge friendship. But it was never like that. It was always Ariana and Sheena, and they were the ones who accepted Lala at first. And Katie and Stassi, who's no longer on the show, and Kristen were very mean to Lala. And now Lala's best friends with Stassi and Katie. It's crazy how it shifts the dynamics. But Lala's pregnant with her second baby.
I know, but it wasn't Lala. This is before I watched it. Lala was at odds with Sheena at one point.
They've had tips throughout the years, yeah.
But then they just reconnected once they had kids.
They both live next to each other now. They just bought houses in Sherman Oaks, and they have their houses next to each other in Palm Springs.
Yeah, and let me understand. Lala knows the father of her baby.
It's a sperm donor.
Yeah. And he's not going to be involved, but she knows.
No, it's from a cryo bank. It's like a random guy. Like she doesn't know him. She doesn't.
Oh, because it sounded like she knew about him. Like when she was.
When you get a sperm donor, you read information.
I watched her on Amazon Line the other day.
Oh yeah.
Talk about it. Yeah, and she talked about it, and she said he's a great guy. Like I picked somebody that had all this.
Just based on what he delivers, like the notes and stuff. But I don't think she saw any adult photos of him.
And she made it very clear she wants to have full control of her child. Yeah. Which she didn't have with this first child. Mm-hmm. So I think she's having a boy personally.
You think? That's funny. Based on what? That's whatever her mom
I don't know. I just have a feeling she's having a boy.
That's awesome.
I just feel it. I feel it. Yeah. We'll see if I'm right. What about you?
I think it's a boy too. I think it'd be perfect. Like she's girl boy.
Great. Yeah, she looked great today with the long brown hair.
Yeah.
The best she ever looked. No, I'm just not a huge fan of Sheena, I guess, because of how they're portraying her. Maybe she's a lovely person in real life, but I just feel like on the show it's too much, her crying and being upset, and I don't know, I'm having sympathy for this guy. I just feel like, why does he even want, like, it's almost like he wants the gang back together, and it's just, I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I just feel like they're running out of ideas on Vanderpump Rules. It's kind of like just they're pulling on one topic and just that's all it's about.
Right.
It can't change. Why can't they make lots of things happening? Like in the early days, wasn't there lots of different topics going on with her?
It was just more drama because they were young 20-year-olds sleeping with each other and drinking. And now there's not as much drama in their lives. I mean, this is the main drama in their life and in their friend group. But I agree. Again, this was filmed right after Scandal happened. But now we're watching it like a year later and everyone's over it. Everyone's over it. But I do want to see Lala's sperm donor this season. I guess Sheena's gonna overcome her OCD. We'll see what happens with Tom and Tom.
Why do you think she's going to overcome her OCD?
Well, not overcome it, but that's her storyline, it seems. So I think we're gonna
Okay.
see her work through that.
I'm wondering if her and Brock are going to last because they seem like they have a rocky marriage.
Really, based on what?
Just the way they're interacting in these episodes. She seems
Yeah.
fed up with him, annoyed by him. He seems like she's got to like get over this. What's this thing with the baby that she can't leave the baby with anyone?
The OCD thing.
Oh my God. I left you when you were, I don't know, very young when I went to England, my brother's wedding. I mean, I had your grandma and I had a babysitter, but like it's just like over the top.
Well, I think Brock doesn't want just them relying on her mom and
Right.
wants them to also rely on an outside source of a babysitter,
Right.
but
Sure.
she doesn't want to do that. But I also think they just had an episode today on their podcast where they were talking, and Sheena's very open. She always does these episodes with Brock where they talk about everything. And, you know, he said that he feels like her mom mothers her too much and doesn't let her
Yeah.
fly and be free. And that's still an issue. It's either Erica's way or no way. Like she thinks everything her way is the only perfect way. So
Right.
she's working on that. And he's claiming that, yes, he's harsh, but it's the only way to get through to her and that he wants her to soar on her own. But, you know, he has 2 kids in Australia who he doesn't have contact with because there was domestic violence with the first wife. So I think he's trying to rebuild that relationship or maybe just trying to do things differently this time.
Oh,
So
he had domestic violence with his wife?
yeah, and so he wasn't allowed to see the kids, but then he had owed child support, but now he's paid off all the child support, but they don't want to see him, the kids.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Well, what's their podcast? Her and her husband have a podcast
She has
together?
a podcast, Shenanigans, but he came on and they did a Q&A because a lot of people were saying what you're saying. They thought she made it all about herself and that
Yeah.
also how he spoke to her was like wrong or how he was harsh to the mom and
Yeah.
all that. They didn't like that, but they talked it out. He said he just wants the best for her and the best for the baby. And so that's why he has his ideals.
It's interesting.
But that's hard. Like the mom and him do not get along, obviously. I mean,
Yeah, I could tell. I
that's
could tell.
that
Where's her
has to
father?
be an issue at some point.
And she doesn't have a father.
She does. The mom and dad have been married forever.
I have to say one more thing that I'm really had a thought about with Sheena. Without being too critical, I have to say it, she criticized her good friend, right? He lied to her, he cheated with, what about her and Eddie Cibrian, whatever his name.
Everyone says this too.
Like, okay, like, you know me, I'm older generation. I don't follow a lot. I'm watching a lot more lately now because we do a podcast. All I know is she cheated when he was married.
Well, I guess her defense would be that she said she did not know he was married. She never Googled him. She didn't know who he was. And that he lied to her and Brandy was not her best friend. So I guess those could be 2 defenses. Like Raquel.
Oh, Brandy was supposed to be her friend?
No, Raquel was Ariana's best friend, right? Rachel and Ariana were friends.
Right.
So it's a deeper betrayal than sleeping with a married man who you didn't know was married, you didn't know his wife. And third of all, not that this is good in any way, but she kind of catapulted Vanderpump Rules Sheena because the first ever episode was a crossover from Beverly Hills where Lisa had Sheena and Brandy confront each other about the sleeping allegations. And that's how you kind of got introduced into the world of Vanderpump. So
was she in did she start in the Beverly Hills world?
well, Brandy, Eddie Ciarban's wife, was on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And so they filmed a luncheon at SUR. And then Brandy said to Lisa, "Oh, you know your employee, she slept with my husband back in the day."
Oh my gosh.
And that's how it catapulted to SUR. They set it up to show
It's amazing how these people get acknowledgement and, you know, soar from cheating. But I mean, so she's like, you know, she's trying to say, well, you know, I wasn't friends with you still.
And I wasn't older, I wasn't 40, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy, but we'll stay tuned and see what's coming up.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well, thank you. And I think next week we'll have more topics. There's still a lot we wanted to cover today, but we just ran out of time with our hot California trip and just catching up with the fans. So
yeah, and hopefully
you guys,
my ring light won't die next time.
yeah, we had to. Is your
No,
ring
it died. If you noticed, it went out halfway through.
Oh, I was wondering. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh my God, we used to look beautiful. No painting.
No painting yet. We'll get that.
Okay.
We're gonna recap. So you think you can dance? We're in love with this competition
Oh
show.
my gosh, I love it. It's on every week, right?
Yeah, Allison Hawker, so inspiring. We love Max so much from
Oh
Dancing.
my God, I love it. That's our new show to talk about.
Yeah.
Still love Traders. I've been watching Traders, but we got to talk about So You Think I Could Dance. So we'll have to do that next time.
Yep.
All right.
All right,
Bye,
guys.
Alexandra.
Bye.
Bye.